This is the next generation language access, and basically this program is made for the bilingual and multilingual students at DPS. And what we do really, they would receive a very high quality of interpreting services. I mean, they're gonna learn how to become certified interpreters. Most of these students, they are bilingual, as I said, multilingual, and they are already helping their family members when they go to the hospitals, when they have any other needs, you know, in the community. But right now they are becoming professional in doing so, and they can make money, they can start their own business. I think our goal as educators and as a district is to really use the assets that we have in our hands. And right now, it's our ELL students with the multiple languages and cultures that they can, you know, just contribute to the community.
I took the same program training before them. So this program have many benefits. So among them, we can tell they can work as contract interpreters for any agency, and that they can also work for DPS because there are few interpreters out there on the field, and our students speak many languages. They know the culture. They have been with DPS, so they can help us in the community as outreach person for the district. I am called to many schools, and I cannot do it by myself. Basically, I was pushing this to have students to do the things I do, so they can be able, we're going to rely on them in the coming days and coming months. I just want to tell you know how wonderful, how excited I am, because I worked as an interpreter in the community. I know the need.
We are now, the Innovative Academies of the Dayton Public Schools are in phase 3 of the Ford Next Generation Learning Academy program. And what that means is we are actually meeting with 8 tactic teams that are writing the master plan. And so that was so important and so valuable that we now can take it back and actually implement it to make sure our students are prepared for college and careers and can really support this workforce.
We are equipping our students with the necessary tools that they need to be successful. It's not just about the data that goes on in high school. We're talking about reaching our kids outside of 4 walls to obtain a career for themselves later down the road, okay?
I feel like it was really good to be in this room. I got to meet people that I ain't never been in a room with before, different principals, people behind the scenes that I don't even know about, and really like get to see what goes on outside of just what I see inside my classroom.
I think overall it was good to collaborate, you know, bring us all together. We got industry partners here. You have teachers, you have directors, our chiefs, principals are all coming together, and we're all sharing our different experiences and expertise along with our students, giving our students a voice to be able to share and speak on their experiences and the things that they want, because it's not just about what we see, but also want to see it through their lens as well, because sometimes we get so far disconnected, you know, from being a student. And I think that's huge, to have all parties all on deck to collaborate. So this was awesome.
Well, I first would like to thank the hundreds, literally hundreds of partners that have come now to over 10 meetings with us to put all of this together. And from the bottom of our hearts, we thank them. For any community partners that haven't been engaged, we would like you contact us. We have job shadowing, mentorships, internships, all types of things that they could provide. All of that helps. But the biggest thing is, when you hear about the Innovative Academies of the Dayton Public Schools, be sure to spread the good news that there's plenty of about what it means to support a district that's on the move and making transformations that not only helps our kids, it's helping the entire region.
I'm a part of Shared Governance, and we are talking about a steering committee. We're talking about how to put people into successful roles and how we can all communicate through different teams so that we're all on the same page for the actual goal. It feels good. It feels really, really good, honestly. And it only feels good because at the beginning I was confused, didn't know why I was here, just know my life coach brought me. Now it's like, I know exactly why I'm here. I know what we want the end goal to be, and I'm really happy to see that what I'm saying, in my opinion, my comments are building into that final presentation. I'm really excited to see how it'll all come out, honestly. Like, being here in the process is totally different than seeing the final outcome and not knowing the conversations we had, the different meetings, any of that. So I'm really excited to see how the work will actually come out and turn out.
My group is working on establishing a framework for partners. Work on how do we create a database of all of the partners at all the schools in the district so we can create some standard operating procedures on how partners interact with the district and with various schools, who are the contact points at those partners, what areas or what buckets do they interact with. Is it an attendance situation? Is it an academic situation? Is it college and career readiness? The way we're approaching it at Ruskin, the way we're approaching the Innovative Academies of Dayton Public Schools work is through two paths. We have an experiential path. We are getting kids out into the world, and we are bringing experts into Ruskin to try to raise kids' awareness of what is out in the world, what careers are out there when they graduate and when they're adults. The other path is the academic path. It's one thing to try to create a high school classes that will help kids once they graduate. It's another thing to be able to prepare kids for those classes. That starts with us. That starts with us making sure that our academic program at the elementary level is tight, that we are making sure that kids are meeting benchmarks and are able to work at grade level so they are successful in middle school and in high school.
I received a grant for $500. It allowed me to purchase something called Make Do.
30 yoga balls.
To start a contemporary music program.
These kids have been asking for a dunk tank.
I applied for a Chess Up 2, which is an electronic chessboard that has multiple settings. It also can actually explain effectively why this is a wrong move, why this is a bad move.
operations in every part. And so we're really proud to have members from all different departments a part of this committee. In summer of 2025, we began a conversation with Dr. Brooks at St. Clair Community College about the work that they're doing. And Dr. Brooks has been a key provider of professional development on our DPS professional development days, along with other people, including Sawyer. Fall, we added members, including building admin, school AI, so we have some external partners. And initially, we had added the entire alternative school staff. That was very important because the guidance was given that AI should be used to try to help our students at the alternative school. And then we're hoping to continue to add additional stakeholders as we move forward, including eventually the parents and students, because they're very important in this process. Next slide, please. Here are some of the key milestones of the AI Steering Committee. We, as a district, began a little bit differently. We began to explore AI and how it's used first. A lot of districts jumped onto the policy bandwagon very quick and developed policy. And what they found out was later on, some districts made a very restrictive policy early, and so they backtracked. We explored. We started that right away. We piloted school AI winter 2025, and myself and Byron attended the AASA Super Conference. James William, myself, Dr. Lawrence Simmons of Wichita Public Schools, we have really explored. They're kind of the leaders in AI and digital citizenship throughout the entire country. And then the AI Steering Committee made the recommendation to purchase school AI summer for the following school year, 2025 to 2026 school year. Throughout the entire school year, we provide professional development, and I'll give you specifics of that professional development here in a little while. Right now, we have 2 dual school AI pilots going on. One is at the alternative school. They're testing a SEL check-in bot, and it's just completed, and those the post-data collection interviews are happening right now. Another one we tested was claims, evidence, and reasoning bot, which is built into the curriculum in the Girl Science curriculum. That was in a biology classroom at the Meadowdale CTC. So we will be really excited once those results are together in an executive summary to share that with Dr. Lawrence and the entire board. Next slide, please. This is actually from our proposed DPS AI policy. AI can take many different forms, including the ones you see here on the screen. There was a minor addition I'd like to add that didn't make it onto the slide. We added transcription tools to this list. So this is directly out of the proposed DPS AI policy. Next slide, please. Why does AI matter now? Number one, AI has great potential to make education more affordable and effective across the board. If we're proactive when we begin addressing what does AI look like in education, we can prevent future problems in the future, including biases built into algorithms and just the unintended consequences of having AI in schools. The sooner we address it, we can address the challenges that might come out of this. Another thing is AI can actually be used to personalize learning, to meet students where they're at based on their lived experiences and things that they know and understand. Also, AI has become a college and workforce readiness issue. It's actually in the Ohio Career Tech Standards. If our students who are career tech are going to be entering the workforce, they have to understand AI and they have to understand the workforce applications. Next slide. Okay, now this data is just a little bit dated. This is from 2004, but I will give you an updated number here in a second. According to Hanover Research, 65% of K-12 educators use AI technology, and at that time, 61% of students used it. The College Board, a recent study in 2025, has shown that 85% of students use it. I would venture it's in the 90s now, right, moving into 2026. We're talking upwards of 90% of our students are somehow interfacing directly with AI technology. And as you are well aware, high school districts must have that policy approved by July 1st. Okay, next slide, please. Here is an outline of the DPS AI policy. Let me just briefly tell you how this worked. The AI Steering Committee looked at many different policies and districts, and the Big 8 and others, some that were very restrictive and some that were more open. And we provided our feedback based on those policies. We sent that and the Ohio School Board Association policy, model policy, and the ODE guidance to our district attorneys, and they helped to craft a AI policy. They came back to the steering committee, and then we provided input, and then made some changes from that. These are the major parts of this AI policy. Okay, early on last year, we began to develop an implementation plan. And so we're actually into phase 2, moving into phase 3 of this school year. So we've conducted a lot of teacher training. We have reached out to all different types of stakeholders. Dr. Coates was involved in this. He helped to train instructional paraprofessionals with one of our DPS staff members at the last PD day. We've actually collaboratively planned between multiple organizations, something like an AI summit, something that is, you would see at like Wichita schools. And we're going to share that in a little bit. It's called the T3, and it is planned for June 2nd of this year. And we're excited. This just isn't a DPS thing. We are the only school district sponsor working with these organizations to sponsor this event. Here's a list of the PD sessions we've offered by school year. So you can see early on, there wasn't a lot there. In fact, August of last school year, we had 0 AI trainings for educators. By October, we had 1. This is offered by the IT department. This is just a general introduction to AI. By March, we had 2 courses. We had AI certification courses for School AI. Next slide, please. And by this school year, by August, we had 4 different AI courses. And a lot of these were selected based on the input from the AI steering committee. September, there were 5 courses. I included one that was math specific. And then by January, the most recent district PD day, we had 4 different AI courses. Okay, current and future needs. AI is more than just teachers. We realize we have to involve parents, we have to involve community, we also have to involve students, and our 4 NGL partners. Right now, we're working with Hanover Research. They have helped us to develop a survey to better understand how staff members at Dayton Public Schools are using AI. And this information can help us further offer professional development to help them, and also to provide feedback on any possible future needs to change policy. There's some concerns that AI is going to cause students to not think critically, but I would actually argue if we approach AI with our values in mind and our portrait of graduate in mind, we can actually use AI or leverage AI in the right circumstances to teach the skills like critical thinking that we want students to have. Critical thinking is a part of our DPS portrait of graduate. Another challenge will be keeping up with the changes in AI. Probably twice a week I get an email from a new vendor or a new company who wants to sell something. It's amazing how many AI vendors are out there and how AI is almost in every type of platform. So we have to keep up with these changes. Let's see. Yep, and then teaching students how to ethically use AI. And right now, moving into phase 3, we realize that students need to understand AI, how it works, and also how to use it ethically. So this coming spring, we're piloting some AI and digital citizenship lessons in our library media centers. Okay? And the 2 places where we're pulling from is Common Sense Media. The other one is called A Day of AI. And so we're going to get that feedback and help making some decisions about how we're going to develop or use a pre-existing scope and sequence to help students at all grade levels understand AI. Next slide, please. Success, stories, and challenges. Something that is really unique that happened this year. We developed an AI policy for Science Fair. We shared that with the Science Fair coordinators. ISDF, the International Science Fair, has an AI policy. The State Science Day has an AI policy, so we thought we need our own here at the local level. We allow students to use AI to help brainstorm ideas or generate graphics for their science fair. We didn't allow them to use it to do the thinking part, right? That's an important component of the science fair. So we have a number of teachers and science fair coordinators who use school AI to help students brainstorm and tweak their questions, their science fair questions. In fact, last Saturday we presented some of our findings at the Wright State Florida Local Conference. Myself, Mr. Walucius from River's Edge, and Ms. Rowe from Roosevelt. And we're really proud that we were able to share that with the broader community. We've seen some strong usage of AI and OEC in school psychology. Some of our top users have been school psychologists. Last summer, we had one DPS student attend the AES AI camp at Wright State. We would like to send more in the future. And I think this is probably getting to the point where we'd like to share the T3, the AI-powered conference. And I'm going to go ahead and switch out and let Dr. Probst talk about the T3 conference. St. Clair is one of the major sponsors of this, and they're helping us to make this possible from a fiscal standpoint.
Dr. Miller, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here today. I've thoroughly cherished each moment I've been able to spend with Dr. Miller, Dr. Lawrence, and find fabulous educators here at DPS. Each time we've been in the buildings working on professional development, I'm constantly amazed at the talent and dedication of those who work with the children of this community each and every day. And I have no doubt having the confidence that they will continue to prosper, even with a tool like AI that's coming in that's massively disrupting things. As Dr. Miller mentioned, the AI Excellence Institute St. Clair was launched last year. It was a 3-year effort, which was fully funded, fortunately, through our Board of Trustees, which means we have significant dollars available for programming and opportunities in the community. We are at schools, businesses, and other organizations daily. In fact, today I was with 3 organizations, 2 of which were other K-12 districts, and I'm pleased to inform you that DPS is still leading the pack in many, many ways with its AI adoption. 2 of these districts have not even begun conversations about their policy as required by ODEW by 50 years. So please accept my biggest sense of gratitude and thank you to you for spearheading and supporting this effort. One of the goals of the Institute is community-based focus, and that is inclusive of not only working with our partners, but educating the broader community in different sectors. The T3 conference, which stands for Teachers Teaching Teachers. We will be hearing directly from those who have had success in the classroom, including students who can shape the future of how AI works in education in this region. We will also feature a number of St. Clair faculty as attendees and some students who are presenters. The lines across different levels of education have gotten significantly blurred in the last 10 to 15 years. I've watched it firsthand, having spent more than 20 years in the education space. And by having events like this and sharing the information that's working for our students and working for us as educators, we can really further expand on those skills, literacy, opportunities, and professional development. We'll also soon be launching a micro-credential program for the community. It includes a student component that, with Dr. Lawrence's agreement to be a partner, we will be launching for DPS students. It is completely no cost to the district. It is structured and level for students at various grades, all the way including down to the ability levels, as well as faculty, paraprofessionals, and others who are in those positions. There is a for-cost translatable micro-credential that can be earned, but the general version of this training courses will be free to the community and available with a certificate for also translatable CEUs for professional licensure renewal. That should be launching in the next couple of weeks. We are fortunate that the program was largely funded by a grant from the Ohio Department of Higher Education. 5 other community colleges were awarded grants, and I will say, fortunately, with St. Clair and the community, what they're doing combined, the other 4 is not even to the level of this type of a partnership. So again, thank you for being such wonderful partners here in this new.
I would just like to add another challenge moving forward is AI is not intended to replace a curriculum. It's not intended to retro the curriculum. It's intended to enhance and extend the curriculum to meet all students' personalized learning needs. Next slide, please. So I think I've already mentioned the survey, Hanover Research Survey, which will be rolling out here in the next couple of weeks. Moving forward, we want to continue to engage multiple stakeholders, parents, as well as students. We are in the process, one of the powerful things about the survey, it'll help us review how our staff currently using AI. We have some data, but this will help to augment it even more. We'll continue to have to update our professional development and policy as things begin to evolve. And we're looking forward to getting data based on the testing of these pilot student lessons, both in the elementary schools, but also in the middle schools. Next slide. Here's some great news story. We're trying to share our work with the Ohio School Board Association, the great thing that we're doing here at Dayton Public Schools. So we have an article that's sitting in their queue to hopefully get published. We've been waiting a number of months for that. Dayton Public Schools was mentioned on national speakers Mike Kence's blog post, and that's linked here on your PowerPoint. As being a great example of an organization who's using data to make decisions about how to use AI in an organization. I'll be presenting and sharing AI at the National Science Teachers Association meeting, which is funded through DoSTEM in April. And again, I'm really excited to be partnering with Dr. Probst in the Sinclair Community College AI Institute. This is an awesome opportunity for our educators and staff. Next slide, please. Here's two students from Riverside Montessori School. They use School AI Science Fair bot to help them fine-tune their testable question for their science fair project. And they received a superior rating at the DPS District Science Fair. Okay, so this is the point of the presentation. I'd like to open it up. If you have questions, any input you'd like to make?
Questions? Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, a lot of, when I think of AI, and this might be very limited use of it, but would we be using AI to analyze like the results of students, or the results of their tests and stuff like that?
It's a great question. In the sense of like a principal or somebody working in accountability or the school district, it could be used to analyze data, but you have to be very careful. We do have to be compliant with state and federal law in terms of putting student information into the AI platform. School AI has an exceptionally high rating by certain organizations for student safety. In fact, the way the students access the bot is not by creating an account. They go to School AI and enter a code.
Okay.
Okay? So it's very safe. Educators, and this is part of the training, the ongoing training, and partnering with Sinclair Community College and Dr. Probst, is helping educators how to properly analyze student data by removing the things that are protected by law.
And
to help you understand how a School AI bot works, is when the students go in and they have a conversation with the bot, the educators can see a dashboard. And the dashboard actually gives them information that's actionable information on their students. And so if you're launching class with a question, the students go in the bot in a secure way, and the teacher has the capability to check on the student conversation and have an understanding about what the student is doing and what they'll understand. So
okay.
AI is really a powerful tool for a lot of things, including for formative assessment, and provides actionable data.
So students could talk to like a virtual.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just like when you go to the DPS homepage and there's a little bot there, and you ask the DPS homepage, or something you're looking for, something you want to know. There's a response. That's the bot that's responding.
I mean, I guess maybe this just came to mind, and maybe this isn't a use, but I could see scanning like a student's paper, and so that would that be a?
You can train a bot to look at a writing sample, and you can train it based on how you grade it. You actually grade writing samples, and so yes.
But we don't have I don't know how equipped we are with scanning, with the ability to scan a lot of stuff. I don't know. And that's
in the sense of like Google Classroom, students sometimes might upload their written work. Some may be handwritten, some may be typed. So if there's a piece of writing sample that is in Google classroom, that certainly makes it easier
Okay.
to do that type of thing for them. Yeah, that is one use that's actually being used in higher education. Could you talk about that? Sure. You might be able to talk more about that. I know that a number of professors in higher education.
We have tools that we'll use through our learning management system, some of Google Classroom, where a student can upload their work directly through the AI agent that can scan it for other things. One of the most common ones we'll have is we can have a rubric available, and the student can upload their work and say, grade me, tell me what I'm missing, tell me what I'm doing. No different than if you were to do that in a paper pencil situation. Those agents are designed to remove any identifying information because a lot of times those things are secure to the district's servers and not going out to the broader AI world, for example. A good comparison to that is if you've ever done a Zoom call with AI Companion, if you're within an environment, the URL would say something like sinclair.zoom.us, that stays within that environment, doesn't go to the broader world. So obviously, we wouldn't want to put anything in there that's protected information under FERPA or anything else. But should that occur, it does not leave the confines of the infrastructure of the district. So if a student were to put a Google assignment in there, it would strip out some of that identifying information. Though IT folks may be able to find that in the back end, it would not be available generally to the AI system.
So I guess also in general, I guess I'm wondering, do we have the IT facilities to take advantage of a lot of, to fully take advantage of AI?
We do. If you'd like a more detailed presentation, I could actually come in today. Probably it would be better to
No, that's
probably
okay.
come in with the School AI. School AI member who's on our steering committee, we could actually demonstrate some of the functionality. Some of the more simple things would be like rubric generation or writing a BIP, writing IP goals. Within School AI, there's some specific assistants that are used. I think that would probably, if you're okay with that, Mr. Lacey, if maybe we can come in and demonstrate some specific functionality that we have with School AI on the enterprise system. They have some new features that are being released too that we're really excited. I know Mr. Williams and Dr. Jones has been working with them on these new features that they've released, and we'd be excited to share if you'd like to have us back when we come back and share some of those specific features.
Yeah, I'd like to see specific features sometime in the future, and I would suspect parents would like to see, especially like parents that have no clue what their kids are doing during the day. But thank you.
It might be a great idea for a parent workshop or working with some parent coordinators.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Walker?
Okay, so I may be confused here. You started this in fall 2024. We are now in March of 2026. Is there any data to show what students are actually doing at Jackson, whether that is students or teachers? And I guess I'm curious on with the PD offerings, like what actually is happening in the classroom now setting with the AI piece, if that is the chat that you were just referring to with the writing prompts and things like that. How are teachers digesting that and then interpreting that better to the students?
It's a great question. I can speak in broad terms of some specific way that teachers are using it. One of the purposes of the survey is to help us to dig deeper and know specifics, including what platforms and what applications. So students, teachers will often use class starters or bell ringers, or use a bot as a bell ringer. They can use that as a formative check. Also using it in projects for different applications within projects. As a district, we can see who the top users are. I can access that information. I can tell who the top users. In fact, I've called them and asked them how they're using it. But to dig deeper into the data, we'd have to have a response from probably Mr. Williams, looking at that more. I don't know if Mr. Williams.
So yes, we can actually, we've been working with School AI and a few other ones where we can pull analytics on whether they're create spaces, whether they're using it to create assignments or syllabuses. It just depends what type of data you're looking for. And we can see how often they're using it over the past year and a half.
So what exactly are they using it for at Jackson? Since that was referenced, and I'm like, if this is the first year that they're using it at Jackson, what exactly is
So
it?
there is specifically, it's 2 chatbots, right? What were they created for again?
There was an SEL check-in bot. So the idea was proposed
Okay.
whether a bot could monitor students' well-being and monitor whether they needed support throughout the day. So as you know, there's a counselor, there's a therapist, and there's a social worker who's currently out. And they have their caseload of students, ones that they see on a regular basis. But there's also times where they need to pull a student in for immediate support within the school day. So the question, it's almost a research question that was posed, was could that bot that's being used in the classroom just for the first 5 minutes check on their well-being and almost act as like a signal flare? Like, oh my gosh, this student needs to be pulled in and I need to meet with them as a counselor or therapist. And so one bot, the students were actually giving advice to the bot. So the bot was acting like a person who was going through a difficult situation. And so students gave advice to the bot. And then a later bot, students had to explain how they're feeling and then provide different strategies that they could use to help deal with their feelings for situation. So right now, our program evaluator is looking at all the data. We're excited because the first hypothesis basically been supported is that the counselor and the counselor and the therapist have confirmed basically that the data in the chats can help them monitor students throughout the day.
Okay, I'm
The
gonna
other
leave.
thing they've seen is they have groups at the alternatives where they learn different strategies that they hope that they will use to self-monitor and cope with different situations. And something that showed up in the bot conversations is actually the strategies that the students are learning in the group. That's confirming to us that they're able to learn and use the strategies that they're learning in the group. So that's exciting.
Perfect. I would say, Dr. Lawrence, I would be interested to see this at OSBA for Capital. I know you presented my first year. Ms. Goins and Ms. Spurlock did my second year. So third year, it's a level up thing. Not to say you all wasn't like there, but appreciate you, Mr. President.
We have 3 proposals being sent to OSBA. So one is AI, this AI proposal you see here. The other one is around operations, and the other one is around Welcome Stadium and our and what the board did with the 2 superintendents to build Welcome Stadium, and also in honor of Karen with Danya.
We can hold a debate with another school district.
We're working on some things in debate right now. Catch us next year.
Appreciate it. That's all.
Dr. Goodwin.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. A couple questions for me as well. The sample size, how many teachers are actually using this?
Great question. Both pilots are relatively small. We selected Ms. Rainey, who's a certified ELA teacher at Alternative School. So the number of students is relatively small, but it doesn't prevent us from drawing some important conclusions.
What's the small number?
Approximately
10 out of how many teachers do we have in the district?
So he's specifically talking for this. Teachers across the district are using it. We watch it, roughly 200 teachers have been using it here and there.
Okay, of the 200, how many teachers in the entire district? I'm trying to understand the sample size here.
Yeah, for the pilot study is just one classroom, one set of students. The second pilot, there's about 20 students at Meadowdale who are in the pilot.
Okay, so
in
let's
terms of the actual entire school district, there are somewhere, it's more than 200.
It's more than 200.
So-
It's greater than 300.
Okay, let's zero in on the question, guys, because I need exact answers here. First question, how many teachers in the district have access to school AI?
All of them, it's enterprise.
Okay, of all the teachers in the district, Dr. Lawrence, how many teachers do we have in the district?
We have about 900 teachers.
Out of 900 teachers, what number of teachers utilize the platform?
I'm gonna try to pull that number up right now.
And is this, the number you're pulling up, is that I signed in one time, or is that an active use?
We can actually see active use.
Okay, if
We
you,
used it in the last 90 days.
okay, let me just get that. I'm just trying to see where the buy-in, because one thing we have as a district is we have a ton of products that are great ideas that people don't use. And then they find another product that they're used to in that piece of it. So this may be a great platform, but if out of the 900 people who have access today, only 200 are utilizing it, maybe actively, I don't know, we're gonna find out in a second. that's a bigger concern of where is the gap between this product and the individuals that we need to utilize that.
Yeah, if I could just add, that's why we're surveying the district. So in terms of adjacent school districts, Maggie School is very popular, Maggie School AI. We're very proud that we partnered with School AI. Part of it is because they have personnel who can work directly with us. They've been out free of charge and given a PD. And so that's one of the purposes of the survey. So we can identify what other platforms teachers are using so we can continue to help teachers learn how they should be using School AI. That's paid by the Dayton Public School District. They should be, of course, using School AI.
So as of right now, the last 90 days, there have been 398 spaces launched.
I'm sorry, he coughed. Can you say it again?
398 spaces launched. That's chatbots per se. There have been, out of those 90 days, that is 218 users.
So we have 218 staff members out of 900. Mr. Lacy, what percentage is that? Come on, man. Come on, Mr. Lacy. You know this is your job. You know you usually pull out your calculator.
You have a 10 key.
In active users since we started this, it's been
Since 90.
How many?
25%.
1,700 since we have started school.
It's about 25%.
And this is the first year, correct?
This is the first full year that we purchased.
Yes, this is the first full purchase year. So this is the,
Previous year, we purchased a pilot, and we piloted it in a number of classrooms, and then that extended the summer until.
What's the 1,700?
That is so far that have logged in the School AI and used it over the past year.
But we don't have
Past 90 days,
1,700.
218.
I would say
1,700 just individual logins because I got 9.
Individual users.
That would include paraprofessionals, that would include people in operations, business, HR, that would include all departments, that's the entire school district. Remember, we're approaching this as a school district, everybody.
Okay.
Right? Everybody needs to understand how to use AI, so the 750 is all.
Work with me here. So I'm gonna give you guys direct questions and just give me direct things back, none of the fluff, because I gotta move through my questions, we on time. So we have more than just teachers based on what you said. Can you send us a breakdown of who has access and who has actually utilized this piece of it? That's one, from a staff perspective. The second question, students' perspective. You said we only have 10 students utilizing it right now?
No, out of those schools, it's all students. He is talking about the pilot.
Okay,
Pilot.
2 questions.
Yeah.
One, how many students in the district of the 12,900 and some change that we have actually utilized this system?
I can pull that. That would
I just want you to, I want you to send it to me.
All right.
Like, we just don't
Would you like
send
that
this.
broke down by grade?
Yes, actually by location of school. And then I want to know if they've logged in one time or if they have continuous use.
Okay.
Because that's the next question. Are students actually utilizing this? I don't remember the, it was Mind something. I don't remember what it was.
Oh.
It was the whole thing, Mr. Lacy.
Mind play?
There it is.
Don't get him going.
There you go. He gave a whole speech that one time. It was the quickest couple words. But I do recall the amount of dissatisfaction with children on the platform itself. So again, an investment doesn't make sense to me if the intended user doesn't enjoy it.
Okay.
So we got those 2 requests in. The second request, or the next part for me, and I don't know if this is you guys or someone else, so whomever in the audience, how does this help students with basic skills of reading and writing? And I ask that question because I've seen how adults in our district and outside of our district utilize AI. If you don't have a good foundation of how you write, the AI does not cover that up. So I've seen our reading scores and that piece of it. We have some gaps when it comes to the basic skill of reading and individuals being at grade level. How is this platform or any other platform we're looking at assisting in those 2 basic skills of reading and writing? That's probably not you, Mr. Williams. It's okay. I see you looking at me.
I can system set up and I can say how it takes the standards and it compares.
That's okay. It's not you. It's somebody else. So it's either our individual from curriculum, the superintendent, or someone else. That is the biggest question for me because I need to know how this translates to improved scores, improved performance, and not just completing tasks. Floor is yours.
I'm gonna need more than 2 minutes to.
You only got, you gotta give us something. Like you're selling us on the idea of this is a good piece right here. And those are basic matrix for us.
Well, I can give you examples that let me clearly state that in no way, shape, or form has the AI steering committee never said that, as I said earlier, that the AI should replace the curriculum, okay? The AI, school AI, is meant to augment and help support the curriculum. So for example, school AI will translate the work. We have students with however many languages that they go to schools, something like 40 to 60 different languages. So teachers have the ability to translate documents for students. That gives access to students. Okay. Number two, if you're thinking about a science classroom, okay, our science curriculum has phenomenon-based learning built into it, aligned to the next generation science standards. So teachers have the capability to find ways to personalize the curriculum in areas where the curriculum does not fit. It does not replace the curriculum at all. It helps to augment and support every single student. Dr. Lawrence has always said, all means all. And I apologize if my response is not specific enough for you, but AI makes it possible for all students to be able to access the curriculum if the teachers know how to leverage it to help to personalize the curriculum that you need to serve the students' needs.
So the biggest issue or complaint that I hear from teachers, which we'll go down the curriculum rabbit hole for a second here, is it is not that the curriculum is insufficient, it is that the skill set of our students don't match necessarily where the curriculum gives the assumption that they're at. So we have curriculum that is adequate if all the other things were true, meaning the child was at grade level. The child had all these other places that the grade level was the biggest part that I hear. So from what you're telling me right now, it doesn't sound like this will work as great for students if the foundational piece of them already not being able to keep up on pace with curriculum isn't there. But if they are able to it, then this does work in that piece of it. But the curriculum conversation is definitely another one to go down because, again, from, I can say probably about 300 teachers that I've spoken with regarding the curriculum, the problem with it has been we make an assumption of where children are and they aren't there, so we can't adequately utilize it in that way.
I respect that response, but I also challenge it at the same time. So what I hear is that there's frustration with the curriculum. I hear them say the same thing. But we also must respond in a way that doesn't assume that students don't have the ability to access it. So our curriculum is pretty incredible. And an example is Amplify Science. There are school districts who've asked me, how do you afford that? And I said, we have a great Board of Education.
Don't put that on our jacket.
Pulled some strings, and she was able to purchase what Edgar Ward said. Listen, Edgar Ward rates Amplify Science as green. Not every school district can afford that. So it is so good that there are strategies and there are things that, if they're used properly, with fidelity, if they're used as intended, and if they're used without a deficit mindset of thinking, I believe the students can access it. And I think if it's properly augmented with AI used properly and thoughtfully, I believe AI can be used to help students.
So what we'll do without...
And I'm sorry if my examples are not specific enough, but I think a lot of the times at different levels, we battle mindsets, and that's one of the most challenging things to overcome is mindsets.
So what we'll do here, because one of the great things we have are these committees, because I never want to take people's assumptions. I will invite multiple teachers to come to talk to you specifically about Amplify, because that is the most complaints that I receive, and I think they should give them directly to the individuals in a safe forum where you guys can have these conversations, where you have the people on the ground who are utilizing the tools and the people are putting in there. The same way that you want to show us, I mean, I've seen it because I've been to several of the meetings in here, and I don't have any issues with the product, and I think when individuals utilize it is a really good tool when you are at grade level in that piece of it. So we'll bring that together in the school curriculum committee, and we'll have that conversation to see, again, where these pain points are, because if we're going to invest and continue to invest, it needs to make sense for the users of the products here. And that's both the staff who have to implement it and the students who are going to utilize it. I will follow up with you with one more thing, because I would like to know how those students at Jackson, the 10 that are in that pilot, how they perform on tests coming, because this is the only group that is actively using something in this. Is that correct? Or are there other groups?
Right now, let's focus on that one specific space because there was a directive that AI should be used in alternative schools. So we selected that one classroom because of the nature of the teacher. The teacher was a veteran teacher who was willing to take on this challenge. And I would just add that the students at first didn't trust the bot. They didn't understand what they were doing. And our friends at School AI had a very creative and novel approach to help the students understand, and that was building a red light, yellow light, and green light into the bot, so that students had to understand. They had to converse with the bot enough to build the trust and make it go green. And it worked wonders. It really worked.
Okay, so I would like to see, and this is more for you, Dr. Lawrence, to bring back to us how those individuals perform on their testing compared to another class at Jackson that didn't utilize the AI tool. Just want to see if there's any progress whatsoever with.
Another class at Jackson or in general in the district?
I mean, he said it was only 10 students.
Right, well,
Jackson has like 70, so is there not another class of students, or are there only 10 students at Jackson at the moment?
It's just 10 at Jackson, but I'm saying that.
No, I'm talking about, because I want a group that used the AI tool and a group that didn't. At Jackson, are you saying there are only 10 students in the entire building?
Dr. Goodwine, if I could add something, the purpose, and I realize that our ultimate purpose is to increase students' learning and their test scores, but if I may add one thing, is that the purpose of that one specific pilot was testing a concept of monitoring students' socio-emotional learning and acting as a signal flare for that situation to help provide the interventions that they so badly need.
Does that not improve their ability to do better in school?
Yes, regulate. Yes, the purpose
Okay.
is to regulate. And I'm afraid if we just look specifically at their test scores, that's not going to tell us something about
I need to
the
just know.
regulation or the strategies.
I need a data point. So there are 45 kids listed right now at the alternative school according to our enrollment. Are there actually 45 or are there 10? Because I need this question answered before I can go on to you. So are there only 10 students at alternative
There's
school?
10 students in that 10th grade ELA class.
Okay. Outside of that, is there other students that are not in the 10th grade class?
Yes.
I want to know how those other students compare to this group of students. Because this group, you said, has had some benefit that enhanced their learning in some type of way. Interested to see if it does correlate, if they do better, they do the same, or they do worse.
I don't know that he said it's enhancing their learning. He talked about
He didn't say
social.
that.
Right,
I
yeah.
said I want to
Oh,
see.
okay.
He didn't
okay.
say anything about that whatsoever.
Right.
I'm asking you guys. I want to know if there has been any difference in those 10 students that is noticeable for us to invest in a product that helped them. You said it's something that's going with their social and emotional learning. That's great. It made some people eat breakfast and they score better. Had nothing to do with what y'all taught, but you fed them and it came in a different way. I just want to know if there are some things that changed from these 10 students comparative to the other. Thank you.
We
Chief Sheehy.
will make sure, Dr. Goodwine, we will make sure that's.
Dr. Sheehy has given me the thumbs up. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off because I need to send you guys stuff from writing. So, yeah. I think it's.
Yes, I wanted to find out with the AI tool, does the AI tool supplement additional information? I know you talked a little bit about how it can adjust to the different students that we serve culturally, and I was thinking more so at the cultural level. If we're in American history, and I know you guys are only right now in ELA, and let's say the topic is, American history, and we know a lot of information has been taken out of our history books, but if a student of African American descent wanted some additional information that's not in the book, will the system kind of supplement that information for them and make it relevant to that particular student, whether they're Hispanic, whatever their nationality is? And in addition to that, how is it helpful and useful for individuals and students on IEPs, 504 plans? How does it is used as a tool for those avenues as well?
Thank you. It's a great question. I think your question, if I make it more broadly, is personalized learning, which was mentioned in the presentation.
It was.
It all depends on how you prompt the space. You can prompt the space in a way so that a person of color's perspective is represented during any particular, for example, period of time. So if you prompt it, you say, now imagine this is the character and this is the situation. It was this specific point in time. You can simulate that through the conversation with the bot. The students can simulate what life was like or some of the challenges that they had during that period of time. So and we have history teachers who are using that right now in Dayton Public Schools. And so, again, that's part of the personalization of the powers of the AI.
And again, when he says prompts, it's as simple as, hey, ask these set of questions, and then you customize the learning based on that.
And to answer your question about students with disabilities, it can help break a much more complex topic, a much more complex learning standard, break it into smaller pieces, or help a student who has a disability understand themselves as more complex in their own language. Again, it comes down to how you set that broader space up.
And so, Dr. Lawrence, if you are able to maybe set up a opportunity, maybe I would love to kind of be the student and kind of go through it and see what it produces, you know, for myself from that.
That would be a great follow-up presentation is actually model the potential of how these spaces work and allow everybody here to experience them like you were a student.
Yep. Thank you.
We'd like to do that.
That's all I have, Dr. Bailey.
So, before I let Mr. Walker do his follow-up, so you talked about critical thinking, and it would not stop our students from being able to learn how to critically think. How do you monitor that? Because you said you could monitor that. How would that work so that the AI is just not giving them everything, and that they're able to think for themselves as well?
Great question. Again, it comes down to the prompting. If you prompt the space for the bot that you set up, you tell them, do not provide this, do not provide this. Instead, ask questions that helps them arrive to where you want them to be. And our advice is always, you have to test it out yourself first before you roll it out to students. And we always do that.
So this is, in that specific question as well, it also depends on what AI tool you're using. So if you're using something like ChatGPT or Gemini, it is not made to teach students per se. It is made to give you the answers you're wanting. Something like School AI, Khan Academy, there's school, what is it? There's Magic School. There's a large amount. It's made to teach students. So if you watch some of the interactiveness with them, it's asking them questions as they're going through it.
Okay. I can't wait to see
So
that.
if you prompt it to set it up right, and you limit what information it'll actually provide to the student, and instead have it ask the questions, the students are actually doing the thinking. It's very different than, as Mr. Williams just said, as ChatGPT open. You determine, as the writer of that space or bot, you determine what thinking the students are doing.
Okay, thank you.
And we can probably get some examples of that with some conversations back.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Mr. Walker?
Sure.
Just to go back to point as well, part of the literacy piece in the product that we provide is evaluating the output, so it's not just copy and paste and the students correct, it's evaluating critically. So there's opportunity to build on some of those critical thinking skills. We saw that in a lot of places that had put a tool out 2 or 3 years ago, and now we're having buyer's remorse that they didn't have the chance to teach students the literacy piece, how to critically evaluate. We even see in our own workforce at the college where we're trying to get people not to just say, make a table of this, just assume it's automatically correct, accessible.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
So since we went down the curriculum rabbit hole,
I thought we did. Go ahead.
I just want to, just for clarification on my end, can I just have like information around what grade band is using what curriculum? And my request more so is based upon what I see on our website. And like if I'm looking at first grade math, first grade students build on their foundational math skills by learning to add and subtract within 20. That doesn't tell me exactly what is happening with curriculum compared to me just searching the other Ohio 8 schools, and I have an actual breakdown of place values and place guides and everything like that is one part. The second part of that would be, is social studies not being taught in middle school? Again, going off of what the website is saying, and it does not have one of those on here, so if we can just clarify that, and that is just my request. I'll leave everything else alone.
Yes, sir. We will have a response.
Appreciate you.
Ms. Weiner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for this presentation. I appreciate it. I am not a Luddite, but I have concerns about AI, and I'm grateful for what you've shared with us about what some of the guidelines are. My concern is the very high level of need that it sounds like for humans, for the teachers to put in guardrails as they're using this tool with the students. So it sounds like we're getting a follow-up presentation. So I'm going to ask you questions. You don't have to provide answers now since we've already talked about this. But I would like to know more about what are the guardrails we're putting up to make sure that the teachers and the administrators or whoever guides the students through this are using it in a way to make sure that students are learning and using and thinking critically. How will students, I have concerns about ChatGPT. I think that's the AI tool that is the most well-known as well as the most rife with possibilities of keeping kids from actually understanding how to think about the world around them. Could you just bring us some more examples on not just this chatbot that sounds really helpful, and again, I think that AI is a very helpful tool for teachers. Our job in this entire district is to teach students how to think about the world around them, think about the things that they're hearing from teachers. And I would like to have more specific examples of how we are still maintaining that fundamental teaching kids how to think and not removing.
And today we're going to give you background about the group homes, the services that are provided, and how the schools work in partnership. We have our transition coordinators who work directly with all of our students that are living in foster care. So I'll start off, and then it'd be my pleasure to let Ms. Appleberry share the day in the life of some of our children. And so we know that Montgomery County, City of Dayton has the largest number of group homes in the state of Ohio. And many of them are clustered around certain schools. We know Dunbar, Westwood, Thurgood, Belhaven, E.J. Brown. And so with so many in the city, one of the things the state and federal department did was hire transition coordinators. Our goal is all means all, so we need to provide support to all of our children regardless of where they come from or some of the challenges. So next slide. These are the numbers that we have. Some of our students experiencing homelessness, 358, and our foster and group home, 582. And we'll go to the next slide. We know, fortunately, there was a moratorium where it's maxed out, meaning they can't open anymore in certain neighborhoods that are high numbers. And this brings stability to the community and obviously helps with the support services between the schools and the city. And so now, the next slide will Appleberry will share with us the day in the life of students that are living in group homes, and immediately after Ms. Appleberry, our transition coordinators will come and share how they support all of the students as well.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brittany Appleberry. I'm a clinical director at A&D Sisterhood, located here in Dayton, Ohio. This is my business partner. Her name is Andrea Lovett. She's the program director. And then over there to the right, I have our administrator. Her name is Sharonda Smith. So a day in life at A&D Sisterhood. A typical day at A&D Sisterhood begins early in the morning. Youths in the homes are woken up around 6 a.m. to start their day. Most of the girls prefer to take their showers in the evening to help reduce congestions and commotions in the morning. However, youths are permitted to take showers in the morning if needed, especially if they have participated in activities that cause them to sweat, or if they have personal comfort or trauma-related needs. Breakfast is provided each morning at the home, and some youth choose to eat breakfast at the group home, while others prefer to eat breakfast at school. While the others are at school, staff remain on site 24 hours a day to ensure supervision, readiness in case of any concerns or emergency arise at the school. If the school contacts the home regarding a situation, staffs are able to respond and assess immediately. During the daytime hours, staff also prepare for the evening by beginning dinner preparations, ensuring that youth will have a hot meal when they return home. Staff schedules may also include transporting youth to various appointments such as doctor's visits, therapy sessions, dental appointments, eye exams, or job search activities through Goodwill. After school, many of the youth attend Loving Care Therapy Camp, where they are picked up directly from school. At the program, youth works on life skills, coping strategies, and behavior supports. Once youth return home in the evening, they transitions into their nightly routines. That includes dinner, completing homework, taking showers if needed, taking prescribed medications, and completing assigned household chores. The evening routine helps prepare youth for a structured and calm end to the day. Youths are typically in the bed by 9 p.m. During the overnight hours, third shift staffs are present in the home to conduct routine safety checks and ensure that all youths are safe, comfortable, and resting throughout the night. At A&B Sisterhood, the daily schedule is designed to provide structure, support, and a safe environment that promotes stability, responsibility, and personal growth for every youth in the home. So I would like to share one of our success stories, and we have plenty more, but I know we're on a time limit, so we're just gonna do one. On November the 21st, 2024, A&B Sisterhood welcomed a youth from Montgomery County Children's Services who had recently completed a residential treatment. When she first arrived, she was very nervous and struggling with depression, anxiety, mild developmental delays, and a history of self-harm. She had also experienced abuse and neglect in her home environment, and family support had been inconsistent. Our staff worked to create a safe, supportive, and compassionate environment from the moment she walked through our doors. We provided therapy support, positive group interactions, and extra emotional support during difficult times, such as holidays, anniversary dates related to loss of the grandparents, which had previously triggered self-harm behaviors. Within 6 months of services, she successfully stopped using self-harm as a coping skill. She became involved in church through our program and chose to be baptized, which became a meaningful part of her personal growth. Through strong collaborations with Meadowdale High School, staff and school personnel communicated regularly to support her during challenging school days. Over time, she has grown tremendously. She has gained confidence, improved her emotional expressions, and has become actively involved in school activities, including joining the ROTC with plans to pursue the Army. She has also received honor recognitions each quarter this year. She is now 3 years sober from substance use and continue working towards employment as she prepares to transition into adulthood. Watching her grow, resilience, and determination has been truly phenomenal. As she approaches aging out of care at 18, we are hopeful that our upcoming second location will provide transition housing opportunities to support her to continue path towards independent living.
Thank
Good evening. I'm Gabrielle Durant. I am one of the transition coordinators here for the district. One of my specialty roles here for the district is I'm also the juvenile justice liaison here. So when our students are coming in, we just wanted to highlight some of the challenges they face already. They come into us with trauma. They are transitioning to a new environment, the academic challenges. Some of our students, a lot of our students are credit deficient when they come here. The behavior challenges and the social emotional challenges, the system involvement. Some of our students have been involved in foster care for a long period of time. And then just building trust and relationships, they struggle with that. So I'm gonna have Ms. Charlotte kind of speak about how we help address those challenges when they come into our district.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Sadler. I'm also a transition coordinator with Dayton Public Schools. And with the academic intervention support we provide, we offer tutoring programs within our district, study tables. We access the educational resources through our books and supplies that we have within our district. For IEP or OEC students, we have IEP plans, direct instruction, and computer support. For the behavior health, we offer counseling, intervention plans for behavior, social emotionally learning programs, anger management, crisis intervention, and mentorship programs. For the health and wellness, we have our school nurse, our mental health therapist, and our nutrition folks, that's in the cafeteria. For support and social support services, we have peer groups in some of our buildings. We also have extracurricular activities that we have our students can participate in. Our school counselor, again, can assist there. And Gabrielle and I, we also assist with supplying school supplies and some hygiene products that they may need so that it can help them be successful. We also offer career and post-secondary planning through counseling, through career pathways, and we also talk to them about work. So we may connect them with jobs, who's hiring, let them know who's hiring. We also may do mock interviews as well.
Okay, so we were asked to present some of our success stories that we have. So I have 2 students that I want to talk about that are still here in our district. So my first student, she is a freshman, and I'm calling her my bounce back student. She is a female, she's out of county, she's not from here. When she came into the district, her caregivers were saying that she was very aggressive, she was defiant, and this was stemming from the negative influences that her mother had